Okay, keyless works. Not keyless works. Calendar side. Same basic stuff. There isn't really too much that's different here. Both of them use metal. I believe that's it. Is that metal or is that plastic? I forget. I'll have to look. These on the 754Xs, this is aluminum, painted aluminum. Ditto. This is some kind of base metal. It might be aluminum. I don't remember. And they're both held in place with a brass C-clip. Where? Aha, there it is. So we can dismount the day wheel in the same way. I just come in under here and with my finger on top so it doesn't go crispoink. There's that. And this is exactly the same thing. Whoops. You stop it. Every time I say ask somebody to ask something to stop it, it never does. Let's try it this way. There, hold. Fine. So we get this one off the same way. It's another snap fitting. Come on. There. Same kind of C-clip. This one is universal. It can go either way. It doesn't matter. This is a real standard Seiko part. They use this in everything. The beveled side goes down. There's that day wheel. Here's this one. Yeah, it's aluminum. So they both have the same. They both have the same thing. Here we start to get into the real differences. You'll notice again more of these really thin plates, really thin stamped metal. The 754, the 7As have this same kind of thing. Held in place with 3 screws, and you have this is the date corrector wheel situation right in there, the date advance, and it just sits there. This is the date driving wheel, all plastic, single component. It's perfectly fine. Everything is great right up until it isn't. And if it isn't, what'll happen is that I have seen this over and over and over again. This tiddly right here, that's the arm that pushes over the date. And if this date wheel is held up for any reason, this little arm will bend and push back and break. And I have some replacement ones of these, but I hate the fact that it is so delicate and that everything is great right up until it's not. Whereas this was designed to be repaired. Okay, so let's pull the calendar apart. First on the 754, I have the wrong screwdriver. Let's see. First on the 754X. Oh, I have to clean this screwdriver up. Hang on, just one second. There it is. Let me just do that right quick. I keep a beautiful old, really old Nicholson file. Tiny thing. It's a Nicholson number 4. It's just one of my favorite things I use. I don't even know how long I've had it. God, forever. Just cleaning my screwdriver. Sorry about this. Get that all wedged down. Clean off the burrs. Flatten the faces. Redo the top. Yeah. Just like that. Hi, honey.
Hi.
How are you? Good. Don't worry. I'm not going to let this video go too long.
I just need to get a can of pimentos.
A can of pimentos? Oh, speaking of that, I read that one can make better falafel using fava beans rather than chickpeas.
Okay.
Just letting you know. If you were curious.
No. But
You're not curious. Nope. Folks, she does not care about falafel.
nope.
Too bad. I like falafel.
Sadie didn't like it.
Sadie didn't like falafel?
No.
I like falafel. Okay, so our screws are off. 1, oops, get down there. 2, 3. Okay, so this this is a single thin piece of metal stamped. These are obviously, they're also stamped, but they have, they're two components with 4 teeny tiny screws. So I have to believe it was more expensive to produce this by a lot than that. Just in terms of just material. You know, there's more material, more finishing, more precision needed. And this is one of these things, again, where you have all these sort of nested pieces, all these little spring-driven diddlies. This is that's the Date Garden, all this stuff, and it has the springs and stuff all built in as a single piece. If you can kind of rework that, but it's hard. But that's where the Descartes spring is, whereas this is a separate piece. And again, Seiko used this particular piece forever. Decades and decades and decades and decades. This piece is more or less unique to the 7 Cs. And so if yours is dead, you're screwed. Whereas with this, if you're missing that spring, like that one just went off to the far side of the bench. It's over there somewhere. But that doesn't matter because I don't even know how many of them I have. Yep. So now you're starting to really see in the 7C kind of the core of what this movement is and how little it is and how sort of they've managed to really winnow away a lot of the bits. This is still, there's a lot of extra machining and stuff on the 754X. And gosh, do I need to, did I not? That's what I get for going in a rush. Come back here. Sharpen up. Sharpen up. Come on, you can do it. I need to get a new blade for this one. I'm getting right down to the end. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, this piece, this bridge right here, it holds the quick. Damn it. Sorry. Hey, look, I just cursed again. I hope the guy who's complaining about me not cursing was listening. Maybe he'll feel validated. Come on, why are you so stuck? There we go. Okay. So, to get back. Notice how simple this is. You've got some gears and things in place and stuff like that, but it's pretty clean. From a manufacturing standpoint, this is really clean. These here are how they deal with screw placement in a plastic or fibers or whatever the heck this is, molded piece like this. They have these studs, these piles that are pushed into ports in this cast piece. Whereas this, it's like you've got a screw and you have to stamp out this bridge, but then you have to rivet the corrector wheel has to be riveted to the piece. Come on. Oh, for love Pete, come on. Okay, so there's that piece over there. Make sure I'm still in frame. Okay. And this is another thing. You want to talk about an expense. This is the setting lever with wheel. It's got all these components, special components, things to rock back and forth and interact with the setting lever to quick set date and do time setting and all that stuff. This is so much simpler. But again, it's one of these things where it's simple, and that's great to a point. And that point is when something goes wrong, and then you're screwed. Whereas here, I mean, this piece, technically, it's not serviceable, but I can take it apart. I can use a staking press, and I can pull this wheel off this. I can disassemble this. I can fix it individual pieces, put it back together. This, I don't have to worry about it, but if something goes south, you could be really screwed. Not much difference between these two things. You got your, oh, get out of here. Intermediary. Let me Turn this around. Here's your hour wheel, metal. Hour wheel, metal. Minute wheel. And so the minute wheel here, this is where things start to get really different. The minute wheel here is, this is really standard. It rotates on this post right here. That's super old school, super duper old school. It's like, that's the way it's always been done. This is actually sitting, whoops, this minute wheel thing is actually sitting on a post that sits in a bushing all the way on the bottom. It's interesting. And that's what that is. There's that. That's that intermediary thing. Instead of having, yeah, that's the way it goes. Same thing for the, pardon me, this is why Seiko went with this, because again, for here, and they use this forever, it's, you know, gosh, yeah, that's it. I need a new blade on that. That one's just, it's roasted. That's done. Come on, get in there. So, easy to make, far less far less money to produce, but if it goes bad, you're screwed. It's great right up until it isn't. More like a light bulb. Whereas this one, it's 4 components, all these different molds, but this is a real sturdy design. Seiko used it for a really long time, and it is rare to see it fail. Come on. Battery has got in there too. You can now see the keyless works on this. Very, very strong. The only thing that will really damage them is water. Yeah, see, and they've already started doing things to sort of simplify how these are put together, but it's still a fine process. And it's nice and burly, which I like. That's your snare release right there, and put this over here, and that goes over here, and this goes over here, and that goes over there. Make sure I'm still on camera, in frame, whatever. So now we can pull that out. We don't need that anymore. Put that over there. Now now we're getting to something that's really important. The number one weakness, the greatest weakness of the 7548s is that the port for the center wheel is not jeweled. And so you pull your cannon pinion, and what you can find, these things wear. The metal wears because it's not jeweled. And because these quartz watches will run for 3, 4, 5 years at a time, that just slowly eats away. And then you get it to the point that the hand stack tilts and the date can start screwing up. So that's a problem. This has to be jeweled. It has to be jeweled. Whereas with this, it's the same kind of tech as the Arnis, the H55Xs and stuff like that. The center wheel and everything, all of this stuff, there is no port for the center wheel. The cannon pinion rides basically on a post. And so it's a hugely stronger design. It completely avoids any pitfalls of this kind of wear, and there's so much surface area in there, I can't imagine how it would ever get bad. So I would say that that would be an advantage. I'm just taking out all these little bits. Same thing. Out. Oh, it's still sitting in there. So that is, there we go. That's the front.